The celebrities are gossiping about drama amid Baldoni, right? They did this publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
They know that they've completely lost.
Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
I'd say the majority of people I'm reading are not okay that he went and joked about such a serious thing.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds just got dropped by Hollywood in the most humiliating way imaginable. Once the industry's golden duo, they're now being called out as master manipulators who fooled everyone, fans, brands, and even their closest A-list friends. And when even their celebrity inner circle is stepping back, that's when you know it's game over. For years, these two crafted the perfect illusion. Blake with her just a regular girl who loves to bake Instagram fantasy, and Ryan with his walking meme machine routine. They made people believe they were Hollywood's most lovable power couple. But behind all that carefully managed PR, just another problematic duo who thought they were untouchable. What was their biggest mistake? Thinking they could keep the act going forever. Now, their scandals are exploding, shattering their perfect image. And the internet? Oh, it's having a field day. The memes are merciless, completely dismantling everything they built. Blake's holier-than-thou feminist persona? Exposed? Ryan's self-aware comedian shtick? In shambles? Every awkward SNL moment, every hypocritical quote, every cringeworthy interview? It's all resurfacing, and there's no escaping it. Hollywood is done with them. Studios want nothing to do with them. Brands are cutting ties. Fellow actors are embarrassed to be linked to them. Even their once loyal fans are jumping ship. And the worst part? The internet never forgets. Let's talk about the absolute disaster that is It Ends With Us. Dropping in August 2024, this movie was supposed to be a massive hit, raking in a staggering $351 million worldwide on a measly $25 million budget. But instead of being remembered for its box office success, it's now forever tied to one of Hollywood's messiest legal brawls. And, shocker, it all circles back to Blake Lively and her desperate attempt to control the narrative while playing the ultimate victim. Blake, Hollywood's reigning drama queen, went full throttle with her accusations against director Justin Baldoni, claiming he created a toxic work environment, and even went as far as accusing him of harassment. Unwanted advances, inappropriate comments, emotional distress. She had all the receipts, or so she wanted everyone to believe. If you listened to her side, you'd think she endured the worst on-set experience of all time. But here's the real kicker. These claims only surfaced once she realized she wasn't the power player she thought she was. The timing? Beyond suspicious. And of course, right before the holiday season in December 2024, she conveniently rushed to the California Civil Rights Department to file a complaint, guaranteeing maximum media buzz. But Baldoni wasn't about to sit back and take it. He hit back hard with a $400 million lawsuit against Blake, Ryan, and their entire PR machine, accusing them of defamation, extortion, and straight up trying to hijack his movie. Imagine being so hungry for control that you end up in a multi-million-dollar legal disaster, all because someone refused to let you run the show. And just when you think their situation couldn't get any more ridiculous, these two actually thought it'd be a good idea to joke about it on live television. Then came Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary in February 2025. And Ryan Reynolds walked straight into a PR disaster. Instead of laying low while his wife was drowning in legal chaos, he decided to crack a joke about the lawsuit on live television in front of millions. Talk about not reading the room. Hollywood wasted zero time tearing them apart. The Hollywood Reporter dropped a scathing cover story detailing their fall from grace, and Blake, never one to take criticism, called it sexist and demeaning. Oh, sure, Blake. It's always sexism when the media holds you accountable, but totally fine when you and your PR team twist every narrative to make Baldoni look like the villain. And social media? It was a bloodbath. Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, every platform was flooded with people dragging them for their fake, performative antics. The backlash wasn't just harsh, it was unstoppable. Hashtags like Cancel Lively Reynolds started trending, and people had zero sympathy for their woe is me routine. Even Hollywood insiders had some choice words about this train wreck. The same people who once worshipped Blake and Ryan are now keeping their distance. Some sources even claim this whole messy situation might have permanent consequences for their careers. Because let's be real, this is Hollywood. And in Tinseltown, people get blacklisted faster than you can say bad PR move. Ryan Reynolds, once the king of self-aware humor, is suddenly not so funny when the spotlight turns on him. His entire persona of the relatable, cool guy crumbles as Hollywood turns its back. Meanwhile, Blake Lively, who spent years curating an image of poise and perfection, is now being called out for manipulation and behind-the-scenes chaos. The industry's so-called sweethearts have been unmasked as anything but. Their careers are in a downward spiral. Projects canceled, studios backing away, and endorsement deals vanishing at lightning speed. Big brands don't want the baggage, and even their most devoted fans are losing faith. For the first time, their charm isn't enough to clean up the mess. Ryan's Hollywood standing is taking major hits, with directors and co-stars refusing to work with him. Deadpool director Tim Miller walked away from the franchise, and TJ Miller openly stated he wouldn't share the screen with Ryan again, no matter the paycheck. If the very people who helped build his success want nothing to do with him, the problem is crystal clear. And Blake? Her carefully constructed Golden Girl act is falling apart. The woman who once sold herself as the perfect wife, mother, and industry powerhouse is now being exposed for what many claim is her controlling and self-serving behavior. The second things didn't go her way. The entire illusion shattered. Blake Lively is now suddenly painting herself as the most oppressed woman in Hollywood. But the narrative just isn't sticking. The harsh truth? She and Ryan Reynolds thought they were untouchable, relying on their perfectly crafted public personas and PR strategies to dodge accountability. They assumed their charm would keep them afloat, no matter how messy things got. But the public is over it. The lawsuits, the media frenzy, the desperate attempts at damage control, everything is snowballing, and at this point, there's no clean escape. Their entire brand was built on being Hollywood's most likable couple, Blake, the Pinterest perfect mom with her wholesome baking aesthetic, and Ryan, the sarcastic, self-aware husband cracking jokes at every turn. But here's the thing. When the industry turns on you, no amount of sarcasm can save you. And Hollywood? They're officially done. The fallout has been brutal, and their careers are plummeting faster than a flop superhero sequel. Studios are cutting ties, refusing to attach their names to anything. Multiple upcoming projects starring Blake and Ryan have either been canceled or placed on indefinite hold. It's like every major studio collectively woke up and said, "Wait, why are we still giving these two work?" Blake Lively was set to star in a high-profile HBO drama, but that deal, dead in the water. The studio wants nothing to do with the legal baggage that comes with her name. And Ryan Reynolds? Even his Deadpool legacy is looking shaky, which is wild, considering Marvel will milk any franchise dry if it guarantees profits. And if Disney, the ultimate bad press doesn't matter machine, is hesitating to stand by him, that's when you know things have gone off the rails. Endorsement deals vanishing. Luxury fashion brands and lifestyle partnerships have cut ties with Lively. Even the mom-friendly sponsorships she had are dropping her fast. Ryan's no better off. His aviation gin campaign is quietly disappearing, and his once-celebrated marketing genius is proving useless when no one wants to market him. Turns out, companies aren't too eager to associate with the guy who thought mocking his wife's sexual harassment lawsuit on national TV was a good idea. And as if that wasn't enough, Hollywood itself is turning its back. The same A-listers who once played nice because it was the socially acceptable thing to do are now openly distancing themselves. Insiders say many top actors want nothing to do with the couple anymore. And in an industry built on connections, that's career suicide. At this point, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are practically radioactive. Some of the biggest Hollywood names have unfollowed them on Instagram, which, in celebrity terms, is the ultimate "we don't know you anymore." Even their own talent agencies are reportedly reconsidering their contracts. When the people who profit off your success start pulling away, That's when you know it's over. Agents are quietly warning studios to stay far away from them, not just to avoid bad press, but to steer clear of lawsuits, financial losses, and complete humiliation. Nobody wants to be the next casualty of the chaos they've created. And speaking of disasters, their financial nightmare is about to hit new levels. The court battle between Lively and Baldoni is set for March 2026, and this is no petty celebrity feud. Baldoni isn't just suing Lively, he's dragging Ryan, their PR team, and their entire operation into this legal war. Their legal fees alone are stacking up fast, because top-tier lawyers don't come cheap, especially in a case this big. Court filings reveal that both sides are burning through money at an unsustainable rate. Sure, they're rich, but they're not Oprah rich. If this lawsuit drags on, it could seriously dent their bank accounts. Insiders suggest they might try to settle out of court, but that's not a guarantee. Baldoni has every reason to push this to trial. His case is strong, and he has Hollywood's full support. Meanwhile, Blake and Ryan are scrambling to twist the narrative into another sob story. No one's falling for their act anymore. The public image Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds spent years crafting has been completely shattered. They built their brand on being likable and relatable. But now, the very fans who once adored them have turned against them. Their social media engagement has tanked. Blake, once the queen of perfectly staged Instagram posts, is losing followers fast. People are unfollowing in droves, unwilling to support someone accused of manipulating accusations for personal gain. Ryan isn't faring much better. The same audience that once laughed at his jokes now sees him as controlling, insecure, and downright unbearable. And the social media carnage? Brutal. Hashtags like #CancelLivelyReynolds are dominating Twitter and Reddit, with every move they make ruthlessly dissected, mocked, and turned into viral memes. If they try to defend themselves, boom, another meme. If they stay silent, boom, another roast session. There's no escape from the internet's wrath. In a desperate attempt at damage control, they released defensive statements to clarify their side of the story. But instead of fixing anything, their PR disaster only got worse. Every attempt backfires. At this point, nothing can save them. Their PR statements feel completely fake. And why wouldn't they? When you've built an entire career on pretending to be Hollywood's most down-to-earth couple, then suddenly get exposed as manipulative opportunists, no one's buying what you're selling anymore. Their downfall isn't just bad, it's on par with some of Hollywood's biggest meltdowns. Take Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, a brutal legal war where the public sided with Depp after actual evidence exposed Heard's manipulative tactics. Blake Lively tried to pull a similar smear campaign against Justin Baldoni, but she forgot one crucial detail. She has zero credibility. Baldoni isn't some scandal-ridden Hollywood creep. He flipped the script, slapped her with a $400 million lawsuit, and exposed everything. The result? Blake's shot at a graceful comeback is officially dead. Then there's Ellen DeGeneres, another beloved star whose sweet and kind public image crumbled under the weight of her toxic behavior. Sound familiar? Hollywood insiders once protected her, just like they did with Lively and Reynolds. But once the stories piled up, the industry turned on her. No more talk shows, no more respect, no way back. And for Blake and Ryan, it's starting to look like the same fate awaits them. The internet has turned them into a meme factory, but not in the way they built their brand on. Instead of being Hollywood's favorite self-aware couple, Blake and Ryan are now the butt of every joke, and there's no coming back from this. Take Will Smith's Oscar slap. One impulsive moment, and he was blacklisted from the Academy. If one slap had that kind of fallout, what do Blake and Ryan think will happen when their own industry peers are actively turning against them? Their PR disasters, courtroom drama, and fake victim narratives make one bad moment on stage look mild in comparison. The biggest difference between their downfall and other celebrity scandals? At least Depp, Ellen, and Smith had some defenders. Depp had his fan base. Ellen had her talk show empire. Smith still had allies in the industry. But Blake and Ryan? No one's fighting for them. Everyone is just watching them burn. And let's talk about their catastrophic PR strategy. If there were an award for the worst crisis management, they'd sweep the category for the next decade. Instead of laying low, Ryan thought it'd be smart to mock the lawsuit on live television. The result? Instant career suicide. The backlash was so severe that even celebrities who disliked Justin Baldoni wanted nothing to do with Lively and Reynolds. Compare that to Robert Downey Jr., a man who went to prison, took accountability, delivered solid work, and became Iron Man. What did Blake and Ryan do? Doubled down, made a joke out of a lawsuit, and acted shocked when Hollywood turned its back on them. And the media? The same outlets that once worshipped them have completely flipped the script. The second the public turned against them, so did the press. And now, there's no one left in their corner. The tabloids aren't running glowing PR pieces anymore. They're feasting on Blake and Ryan's downfall. It's almost impressive how fast their reputations collapsed the moment the media decided they were no longer useful. At this point, they'd need a miracle to fix their careers. But let's pretend they still have a shot. What would a comeback even look like? First, the classic Hollywood move, the forced public apology. Their only chance at redemption would be a groveling, Oscar-worthy speech about how deeply sorry they are and how they completely mishandled everything. But here's the problem. No one would believe them. Their fake relatability act is done, and everyone knows this would just be desperate damage control. Next, the philanthropy stunt. Hollywood stars love attaching their names to charities when their careers are tanking. Expect Blake to suddenly become an outspoken advocate for women's rights, while Ryan throws money at a mental health organization in a blatantly transparent attempt to win back public sympathy. But the internet isn't stupid. People will see right through it, just like they see Ryan's career sinking in real time. Then there's the media silence strategy. If they were smart, they'd disappear for 2 years, let people forget this disaster, and attempt a quiet comeback. But let's be real. These two live for attention. They won't be able to stay out of the spotlight, and their need to defend themselves will just keep making things worse. The more they talk, the longer Hollywood will keep them blacklisted. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds spent years carefully crafting their perfect Hollywood image. But in just a few months, it all came crashing down. Their self-inflicted downfall, from PR disasters to a $400 million lawsuit, has left them blacklisted, abandoned, and out of options. No industry support, no brand deals, and no way to spin the narrative back in their favor. At the end of the day, Hollywood doesn't cancel people for no reason. It cancels liars, manipulators, and frauds. And Blake and Ryan, they check every box. No more quirky Instagram posts, no more witty tweets, and no more late-night charm. The world sees through them now. And just like that, they're Hollywood history. The industry loves a downfall, and right now, Blake and Ryan are the main event. Want to keep up with every twist and turn in this wild saga? Hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. See you in the next one.